I'm going to hand the floor over to Caroline, who's quite a recent graduate of our practitioner program, and Caroline attended the program, the virtual program, so she can give you that experience. We're continuing to run virtual programs, but we do actually have a face-to-face practitioner program planned in April, although there's obviously the usual caveats to that. Yeah, we've been running virtual programs for the last couple of years, and Caroline has that experience. So Caroline, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. A nice introduction. And it is a privilege actually to be here and to share with you my experience. I'd just like to think of it as a very informal session, and I haven't been told what to say, but having gone through the journey myself so recently, it feels like it would be great to help you guys out as you're starting on that journey. So that's what I'm here to do, to help you by sharing my experience and answering any questions you have. I was asked, would I think about covering 5 topics: what led me to study with AoEC, the experience of the course content and the delivery, what I liked and disliked. God, we could be here all day. I have to say I loved the story, the whole course, the time on the study, and what I have gained. And that makes it sound as though it's all over. And I have to say that what I didn't realize when I started was what a big pathway I was going on. And there isn't an end. When you start coaching, you realize that there's more and more and more you can learn, and it's never ending. And there is just so much, for me, there's just been so much satisfaction and so much enriching in my own life from starting that journey. So let me explain where I came from, which wasn't anything a coaching background at all. I'm a qualitative market research consultant, and I have been an independent consultant for nearly forever, which is over 20 years running my own business. So that means that I've been working with people doing focus groups and depth interviews, a combination of B2B clients, working with business professionals and consumers buying washing powder. And, it is about understanding what matters to people. It's about unpicking all those layers of the onion to get at what motivates people, what holds them back, what are positive triggers, and what's going on at a subliminal level in their mind. So in my role, I would be using enabling or projective techniques to get people to think outside the box. And all of that good stuff sort of led me to think, wow, could I use these skills in a different way? And I had sort of been toying with the idea of becoming a coach for a number of years. And I decided to bite the bullet. And it is true that many of those skills have been incredibly useful in this role as a coach. But there was so much new stuff to learn, really. So when I started out, I thought, can I do this? Little old me, can I do this? And I remember talking to I applied online just to a message, and I talked to one of the directors, Karen Smart, and she put me in touch with some of the recent graduates. I watched a video, and I watched one of your very successful AoEC graduates build his business almost overnight, and I became completely intimidated and said to Karen, I don't think I can do this. And then I talked to other people and realized actually everybody's different. Everybody's got different goals, different reasons for doing the course. And, I've got to decide, is this for me? And I did a little bit more thinking about it, and it was very much for me. I did talk to other coaching organizations, the Coaching Academy, there were a number of other ones. I learned about Henley. I think I probably contacted or learned about 4. But what I was looking for was something that would provide me with great accreditation, great credentials, that nobody could say, well, that's a bit soft, that training organization. So I wanted that because I was paying for this myself. And I wanted to know that this was going to be really useful in the future. So for me, the professional focus of the AoEC was a real pull. I thought I would want to go more towards working with professionals, not necessarily in the workplace, but about their work, and whether it be career management. And in the end, I'm sort of drawn towards career management, resilience, and just leadership support, very much on a one-on-one basis. And so that was my instinctive feel, and I felt that the AoEC could deliver that kind of support and training. And so that sort of fitted with me. I didn't want to, if you go and talk to Barefoot Coaching, they're a bit soft around the edges. They're, almost getting into yoga territory, and that wasn't for me. So if I'm honest, and the other thing was, I just wanted to get on with it, and I wanted to make the change in my life this year. Last year I qualified in May 22, was that last year? 21 last year. So I wanted to do it this year, not spend a whole year getting qualified. I wanted to get on with it. So this was a 3 to 4 month course, and that really suited me. And the price, well, it was an investment, but it was worth it. So that was sort of how I came to the AoEC. I hadn't done that one-day certificate level course, nor had I any experience of being coached or coaching, though I've been mentored occasionally. So I was really quite green. But because of all my qual experience, I managed. I dropped in and then was shaken all about with everybody else on the course. We had 3 2-day sessions online, and the online form really worked well. And just as we start to feel connected now, we really felt connected, and I've made some really good, solid colleague relationships, and we had that sense of team and fun. And I think the thing about doing a course like this online is it's very equal. Nobody's more beautiful than the other, or taller, or better dressed, or anything else. You don't go into a room and find there's a group over in the corner huddled there and you don't dare join them. Everybody's equal on the screen at the same time, and you have the opportunity to talk to people. And then you get mixed up a lot as you go through each day and as you go through the course. So by the end, you nearly know everybody, or have worked with everybody of all those other 20 people on the course. So it's a bit of a leveler doing it online. And yet you have that connection, because you go through so many exercises where you have to bare your soul. It's impossible not to build those connections with people, because those people that you're working with actually support you and help you discover yourself, and you help them discover themselves and discover their new skills. So it's a bonding process. If that doesn't sound too corny, I apologize if it does. So I think the online approach really worked. It was very pacey. It wasn't at all slow. I mean, by comparison, I would say today's session is actually slow by comparison to what we covered. So it's a mixture of listening to introductions about models, and then being broken out to do workshop sort of sessions, breakout groups of 15 minutes to discuss an issue, coaching each other, starting with 10-minute sessions, and then go to, by the end you're doing 20-minute sessions with each other. So it really keeps you on your toes all day. And as well, you're learning new skills, you're practicing new skills, so that by the end of day 2, I always used to say I just came out rinsed, completely rinsed. I was exhausted, and I had learned so much. So lots and lots of good stuff. Do come and ask me about anything. What did I like? I liked the pace, the content, the intellectual stretch, the interaction with other people, the diversity of people that I met on the course. So we had people who had just come off or about to come off maternity leave, people who are pre-retirement, people looking for a new role in the future, or like me, to add a new service to their business portfolio as self-employed. We had people who were learning and development coaches within organizations, big organizations who were really experienced. We had people in senior management roles. We had ex-directors of huge FMCG corporates who were wanting to add a new skill. So all sorts of different people. So it was always really interesting to learn what troubled people, and you think, well, they've achieved so much, what's troubling them? Why have they not got the confidence to do the next step? But you just really got to know people very well. So I loved all that. I loved the intellectual stimulation. So there's a lot of reading. They give you a long course reading list before the course starts. And I have to confess, I did read everything and note take everything before I started, and that really helped. Most of the time during the course, you're always stuck in a book of some kind. If you're sitting down anytime, there's always book reading. I used to spend about every Sunday through the 3 to 4 month course doing stuff for this course. And then there were additional sort of team events during the week. And I used to then, I think I spent about 4 weekends totally immersed in this towards the end of the course to get ready for that final assessment. And what did I dislike? I hated being on camera initially, to be coach or to coach on camera in front of other people. I found that really, really hard. But actually, I was coached to cope. And I learned a lot about myself in that process. And I just grew as a person, I think. And the other thing I did feel was that because this organization is very much geared towards setting people up as coaches for corporate organizations, it doesn't provide any support for the person who's self-employed, developing their own business. So don't expect it. You're on your own. You're absolutely on your own. And it isn't easy when you finish the course. There's no magic wand that says, here are your clients. You've been working with sort of 3 to 7 clients or whatever throughout the course. And some of those will continue with you, and you've still got to rack up the hours in order to get further accreditation, either at a European or an international level. There's no magic wand. You have to go out and find your own clients and discover what your own business proposition is as a coach. And that is really hard. And what we've been finding is that because our coaching cohort was quite tight by the end, we've continued weekly conversations where we address those kind of issues and support each other. But it would have been nice to have a little bit more opportunity, even if it was another course. So there's that side of it. And what have I gained? I think I've gained confidence in myself. I've gained a new perspective. I am still in the business of launching my coaching service. I've got a number of irons in the fire. And just to finish up, my coaching abilities have positively affected my qualitative research business. And whilst that was quiet during lockdown, it took off last year. So I've almost been too busy. So it's affected me positively in so many ways.